cash flow to, we don't have
Yeah.
money for this, but
Yeah.
Thrawn, at the time,
Yeah.
I forget his ranking at that time. Do you know?
Um,
I think he wasn't admiral yet.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay. Hmm.
I'll have to look that up. But so he comes to her with a plan.
Okay.
He's like, saw your plans for the TIE Defender project. I believe in you. Let's
Yeah.
work together on this. And he kind of like makes her feel seen, which I was, we are us rebels loving people know are like, oh, no,
Mhm.
no, no.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
not only was he kind of
Well,
usurping her
and I
ideas.
think, yeah, he was not only usurping her ideas, and I mean, I hadn't thought about it the way of being seen. That's a good point. What I took away from that was that when she was describing the TIE Defender program, she was like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna have to just like strip mine a whole planet to find all the materials that you need, all the raw metals and everything." Like she has
Mm,
kind of an affinity for metallurgy and understanding, the manufacturing and the foundry process, and that's why she knows what Beskar is, and that's why she knows it's such a big deal. She's got that spirit, right? And she's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna have to like destroy planets to get this." And when she's originally presenting her ideas, she's like, "No way, that's never gonna work. That's crazy. We can't do that. It's too expensive, or it's too difficult, or it's too whatever." And Thrawn's like, "Oh, you want to burn a whole planet to make my ship? Okay, that's good. You're my kind of person. Let's do this." And I'm just like, "Oh, like, oh my god!" I'm like, "Sweetie, if he likes the fact that you're willing to destroy a whole planet to give him what he wants, he gonna use you too, honey. You are
mm,
not special. I mean, leopards and all."
yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of horrifying to me. I was like, "Oh, oh, if Thrawn tells you you're his kind of person,
Just
that's not
not good.
festive near at
And
all."
so that's the beginnings of the Time Defender project. Um, that's the beginning of
Hmm.
Lothal, and um, I'm blinking on the planet that they go to. Oh my god.
Um, Cor- where is it?
Ah, sorry.
Where is it? It starts with a C, but I cannot remember. You're talking about in the Mandalorian, right?
Yeah,
City of Caladan on Corvus.
Corvus.
I was
That's
right.
it.
I was going to say
Okay.
Corvus, and then I was like, "No, wait, that's something else. No,
I'm
that's
like
it." Okay.
looking right
I
at
kept
it.
thinking
Yep.
cortosis, but that's the
Yeah.
metal from Acolyte. I was like, that's not it.
There's too many core. Corellia,
So many
Cortosis,
words. So many
Corvin,
words.
like
No wonder I can't think of words in my galaxy.
Convors.
It has too much Star Wars trivia stuffed in there from other things. Like,
We're like SpongeBob. All we know is like Star Wars and breathing. Just everything else is on fire.
that sounds about right. Yeah.
So
So,
they're on this planet, and you know we see Morgan starting to enslave the townspeople. We see the townspeople, other people who are visiting that have known Morgan.
Corbin
They-
Dallas. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was.
Corbin,
I was like, Corbin, Corvus. Yeah, no. Wrong one. Never mind. Wrong person.
Mr.
Um,
Willis,
but I think that's what
Dallas.
is the most terrifying about her character. Is she is a magistrate. She was
Yeah,
an elected official. The people were actually like, we put you in charge because you
they
said you were
probably.
going to help us.
Yeah. Do you
And
feel like they
they,
had a choice
I think so. I think she
at
lied to
first?
him the same way that Thrawn was like, "Oh, you're my kind of people." She told him exactly what they wanted to hear. I can help you. I'm going to industrialize your planet. You're going to make a lot of money. You're going to be famous. It's going to be great. And then she did exactly what she said, but it just ruined the planet in the
I think
process.
found out when she was younger, when she was with the mountain nuns, that you know your people were killed by Grievous too. We can stop them, and she found herself to be very persuasive
Yes.
and
Yes.
very educated and very eloquent
Good
and
at telling
good.
people what they want to hear, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
like, it's a means to an end for her.
Hmm.
And this was definitely it. And I believe you're right. Like they elected
Everything.
her, like, oh, she's going to help us. She's going to keep us safe from the Empire.
We put you in charge. And then when they started back talking and trying to stop her, that's when the cages came out,
Hey, we
It's like,
haven't
"Hey, I'm in
eaten. We have
charge."
no
And
money. We're not
mhm,
getting our supplies. What is happening? Our planet is
yep,
dying. All these
yep,
problems arise, and she just has no interest in solving it.
yep, yep. Even when the empire fell, even though they were all gone, she just kept at it. She
Yeah.
just kept at it. I guess she had to. And then we kind of get to the Ahsoka episodes where we learn there's a whole much bigger, much bigger issue going on.
So Thrawn had his other project
Hmm.
and needed her and her night sisterly.
Vision capabilities,
Yes.
dreams, magic dreams. I don't know. Yeah, again, strip mining and burning an entire planet because the magic man in your dreams told you to. I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
ooh, okay, that's like a whole nother level of sort of broken, like disassociation completely, not only from emotions but also from reality a little bit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, I think, and again, I think that just once again comes back to being seen and wanting to be part of something because her planet was wiped out. Her entire family was wiped out, and they were part of the Night Sisters of Dathomir.
Mhm.
And this was her way of like, okay, we can restore things to their former glory. The Empire has fallen, but we can help Thrawn ascend with our powers and
Mm,
restore
mm.
ourselves to greatness. Like she's
But
always kind of looked for that family, and but it has to
yeah,
be like the family that is the most
but they
powerful.
were not nice people. They were not good people. I mean, the Dathomir that they landed on wasn't their planet. There were already people living there.
Yeah.
They literally did like horrible imperial colonialization things and like drove them off the planet with their evil magic because they want them to get technology. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is not a good thing, you know. I don't know.
So
It
again,
just
that
that
just probably like gives you another facet of Morgan's personality. Like this is what she was
yeah.
raised to believe. This is what her people did. And
Mm,
for her to be in like a conduit of the Night Sisters and get Thrawn back into this world
mm.
to continue what he started, she sees it as a higher calling.
Yeah, she really does. That's a good point. Because it was at least in my impression in Ahsoka that she did not know that they were going to Peridia. Like she was only having communication. Like I don't even know what
Yeah.
to call it. With Thrawn, like he was instructing her how to build the jump ship, I guess you could call it, to get from one end to the other. And she knew the temple, obviously, that they found was related to the Night Sisters, millennia old.
Yeah.
But I don't think she was expecting to meet three great mothers risen from cryo sleep, I guess, when she
Yeah.
got to the other end. Like I feel like that was
So weird.
a bit of a surprise to her. Um, what do you think?
Oh yeah. I think so. Not only does she get to see like three great mothers, and they're like, "We need you, Morgan," and she again the feeling
Yeah,
seen. These are
yeah.
like powerful original Night Sisters who've been stuck
Mhm.
on this planet, and this is her chance to free them and get them back into to their home world, really,
Yeah.
off of Peridia, which is in a time loop, basically. Like you have to really travel through hyperspace and time to get there.
Mm,
Um, it makes again it feeds on her not only level of feeling seen but her level of importance. Like
yeah.
I'm going to be important, somebody needs me to
Mm,
do something important, and it's for the greater good of our people, the Night Sisters. and
mm.
and she's so like she literally like she signs herself up to have her face burned for lack of like magically burned so she could
Mhm.
be part of the Night Sisters. And it's
Mhm.
I think that's the most jarring part of me because I was like, oh my god, she's one of them now. And it was
Yeah. I mean, it was
I'm getting
sort of
ahead of
there.
myself with
Yeah,
it.
no, I mean, it was sort of there a little bit in Tails. She had the red
Yeah.
markings. Um, but and they faded when all the Night Sisters died. And so I would love for someone to break that down. Like, what exactly is that? Is it a connection through the Force? Is it a tribal marking? What is it? But yeah, when she finally makes it, and connects with the Great Mothers, and they do their big working, and yeah, that whole transformation on her face.
I was like,
Ooh.
they're burning her eyes. They're burning her eyes, but her eyes went black and she
Hmm.
looked just like them. And I'm like, okay. I was like, well,
Yeah,
she's a Night Sister. There's really no way they could kill her.
yeah. It was just. I was kind of shocked. I thought that this was going to be one of those characters that was going to be around for a long time, you know.
Right.
I thought that there was a level of complexity there, and I'm like, she literally made it to another galaxy, and then she bites it.
Exactly. Oh, you're
Wow,
so
that
important to
is
us. Let's make you a Night
tragic.
Sister. Let's burn your eyeballs out, and you're one of us, and you can have this magical like um the blade of Talzin
That
appears
was
to her.
wicked. That
That
was
was
wicked.
so cool. And you get to have this epic lightsaber slash blade fight with like Ezra and Sabine and Ahsoka and like all of them. Like you're taking on all these Jedi or Jedi in training in a
Yeah,
couple of
yeah.
cases.
Weapons experts.
Weapons experts. We're just gonna call them that. And yeah, definitely Spencer. We're gonna ask her. Um,
Yeah.
but it's just you see her doing all these things, and I'm like, okay, cool. This is gonna be so great. Like she's another big bad. She's like having Thrawn on here, and
Yeah,
then
that was it. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I was kind of surprised. But it was just, I mean, Talzin is the one who basically, oh, that's a really
Morgan.
good way to look at
Yeah,
it.
John says Morgan was like a cultist. She was a true believer with extremely limited information. Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it. Because that's what I was going to say is that Talzin, the clans on Dathomir were sort of fracturing and falling apart. They had kind
Mhm.
of a golden age. And then they were, they had all these different clans, like the people in the mountain, and then there were people in the oceans, and all that kind of stuff. And it was Talzin who basically started wars and raided everybody and made them all come and do what she wanted. And she was the one who was allying with Sidious and with Dooku and taking people's children and offering them up as, collateral for the deals and the bargains and everything. And so when that blade came out and they were like, this is the sword of Talzin, I was like, ooh, definitely don't touch that. Like,
That's a no.
I'm like, that's not going to be good for you, sweetie. That can't be, and so I kind of wonder, not being aware of that it was the very people that Talzin was dealing with
Mm.
that betrayed them and ordered the destruction of her people. And I'm like, and you're doing it again. You're making the same kind of deal. I saw my kids when
It's
they were
very
little. Star
similar
Wars.
to it's very similar to Kylo Ren being like, "Oh, Grandpapa, I will finish what you started."
I
And it's
know.
like, what makes that guy so great? Like, have you looked up what he's
Yeah,
caused in the
yeah. Somebody
galaxy?
needs a force ghost in here. Can we get a force ghost in here, please? Somebody needs to
Come here,
explain it to this son. He's
talk
not
to
doing it
this
right.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and
I need Anakin to
that's
show
how
up and be like, "Your mother's gonna kick my ass. Would you stop?"
he's
I cannot allow this to happen. What is wrong with
your
you?
grandmother smacked me in the back of my head. Like,
Uh-huh.
we need to discuss this.
Yep, yep. No, Leia, like mother. He was like, your mother will kick my ass if I let you do this. Are you kidding? I may be dead and she'll still do it. But yeah, and so you just it starts down that path of what if for me. That if
Mhm.
she hadn't lost her people, where would the Night Sisters have ended up? If they had not been wholesale slaughtered by Sidious, Dooku, Grievous, whatever the bad guys you want to call them, where would they have ended up? What would they be doing? Would they have ever gone back to Peridia and brought it? Why didn't they? They were supposed, I guess, was that just like information they lost? They were supposed to have tamed the Purgles, and that's how they managed to get to the Star Wars galaxy proper. So why did they never go back and get the
That is a
great
very
mothers
good
that were
question.
there? So it really makes you wonder about lost lore, and as John said, the lack of information, that she didn't
Yeah.
really know what she was doing. She just did not want to be powerless anymore.
Yeah. She knew that they were more of her kin, and it was time to reconnect with her past, and if her past was involved in saving Grand Admiral Thrawn and ushering in a new age of the witches of Dathomir, she was all in.
Yeah,
She's
I
like,
just I just am really curious how much she knew before she showed up.
yeah,
Was it like was it like a gender reveal party, like a surprise? You've got ancestors here, and they're coming to take you to town.
I think that'd
Um,
be a great question to ask Diana. I
I
mean,
think
I'm
so too,
really
because like I
curious.
said, she's always very like calm, cool, collected, and in charge. So there was no holy crap moment when they walked out. I was like,
Right,
was
right.
she expecting this to read? Or is it like relatives crash in the Thanksgiving dinner party or something?
And I know, like,
Um,
Davis used so much of the Witches of Dathomir sprinkled into Clone Wars, sprinkled into even Rebels to the point of
mhm,
possession with
mhm.
Sabine and
Yeah,
Kanan and trying to save Ezra
was
from it.
that was Talzin too. Yeah.
That was
Wow.
all
I mean,
Talzin.
yeah.
And
Ugh.
again, I want to know how much she knew. And with all that, I feel like Dave would probably let Diana kind of have a little bit of a backstory, or maybe
I
kind
hope
of help her
so.
guide a backstory a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I have something I definitely remind me. I definitely want to ask her about it. She said that she actually kept a journal as Morgan.
oh,
Like she wrote it all down and about her struggles and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, it ended up being like this really heavy burden, like a big weight to carry because of everything that's in there. And then she said I had to put it down when the day was done. When the day was done.
that was Anna.
Hmm?
Well, that's what Spencer says. Spencer says that
Well,
was
maybe
Anna.
they both did.
Yeah.
But yep, I mean, yep. Diana's right here saying I've written a journal about Morgan to get in touch with her pain and her fear. So maybe that's like an acting technique.
That's pretty fascinating. Kind of puts you in the headspace of the actor. It
Yeah.
takes the actor out of their headspace and kind of puts them into the mindset of the character.
Yeah. So
that's
that'd be a really good question, so because I going along the lines of how much backstory
oh,
did
Night
she get?
Sister Sabine was Anna. Okay.
Oh, I get it.
Woo!
Now I'm following.
I
Okay,
like
got
it.
it. Very
I'm gonna
cool.
have to go back and watch that episode.
I know. Yeah,
Just
that's the thing of looking and reviewing all this stuff. Had to do a deep dive on Wikipedia, and I'm like, man, I gotta go back and watch some of these episodes.
see,
Okay,
and,
We'll have
and the thing,
to try to get Anna to get a quick photo with Diana at Boonta Eve, since
yes,
both the
Oh,
Night
that'd be
Sister ladies will be
fun.
there.
Yeah, a
Night
little
Sister
print of Night
Squad.
Sister Sabine. I love it.
Yes,
Love
please.
it. Yeah.
Oh, now I gotta do one. Damn, that'd be so cool.
hmm
Just a little
hmm
drawing of it.
hmm
It's
Oh,
cool.
oh, oh, yeah. That would be really good. That'd be really good.
um,
Well,
but the
because one of
thing,
the things they talked about with the Night Sisters is that their planet on Dathomir was awash in dark energy,
yeah,
and so I was kind of wondering if what was being represented on Morgan's face was like that physical manifestation of like sort of like what we saw in the Acolyte, like absorbing the dark energy and having
yeah.
it literally take over, make your eyes black, kind of stuff.
Now,
So,
a question that I have for you, and
mhm.
we can ask Diana as well. Do you feel like the grandmothers, the grandmother Night Sisters, do you feel like they were not alive? Like they were of the supernatural? Like how like on Dathomir they have the
Mhm.
spirits and they have possession and stuff like that. Do you feel like they took like the form, like we're just in supernatural form? That's why they needed her to do this stuff because she was of the physical world and they couldn't do that anymore.
That's a really interesting idea. Um,
Because I was getting some like
yeah.
strong. There's no way they could survive.
I thought it was like a cryogenic sleep. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they definitely, but then I wasn't sure because then we had the zombie troopers, right?
Right, but all
And
those
then
like
I was
turtle
like,
people on the planet and the
yeah,
outlaws that Shin
yeah,
aligns herself with.
yeah. So
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot more questions. I don't know. That's a really, really interesting question. I
Yeah,
saw it as
that's what I feel like, Spencer. I
like,
feel
yeah, I'm
like
like, were they zombies? Were they undead? Or what I saw it as is, girl, I just had my nails done. I'm over here. I'm like the queen. I'm not gonna go fight a little war. Listen, little samurai, get out there and kill those bad guys. I'm gonna get on a ship. Okay, I'm gonna get on a ship and we're gonna leave because we got plans. But you go, well done, you. Here you go. You're promoted to first knight. Go get him, kill him. Bye bye.
yeah, because they
So I
needed
kind of
Thrawn to come get them. They needed
yes, they needed
Morgan to get
transportation,
to
right?
Thrawn. So it was just I don't
Yeah,
know.
so but it is definitely like they're so old, that we don't really know what the mythology is of that particular clan of
Oh,
witches.
yeah, John. He says definitely they were named after the three fates from Greek mythology. That can't be
Mhm,
coincidence.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, are they
Oh,
yeah,
Thrawn's
so
bringing some witches to the world.
yeah, there were witch wars and their planet was dying, and so they kind of went into stasis and they sent the Night Sisters out to try to establish a new base.
Yeah,
But then I don't know, I guess whoever knew the coordinates back home died. and nobody thought to go back and pick up grandmas.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't counting on, Maul to take out everybody, and they weren't counting on Ventress to seek revenge. Like,
Or Grievous coming in
or
and wiping everybody out.
Grievous
Like, I mean, was
causing
there
chaos.
a Night Sister archive that went down, like the Jedi archives? Was there a Jocasta? Was there a Jocasta
Yeah, Night
sister?
Sister Marin.
You're right. Oh God, yeah, right.
I feel like
Yeah.
she's
So
the best of the Night Sisters, like, as far as, like, goodness. Like, okay, I know Night Sisters are terrible,
yeah,
but
like it felt like there was still some shreds of, I guess you can't really say humanity,
empathy,
empathy,
really.
decency, just flat
Mhm.
out decency, just not being a ginormous, user and abuser of every living thing around you.
For
Um,
real.
yeah. So I don't
Yeah.
know. That's a really interesting question. Maybe we definitely have
'Cause
to
I'm
ask Diana. Is that what you're thinking? Is that they're kind
yeah,
of like they can't do it themselves, so they
they
have to
did
imbue
so
meat
little.
puppets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they even gave her the powers and the Blade of Talzin to do the damage, but they are so powerful. They're such powerful witches. Why don't they just take out everybody who's in Thrawn's path and be done with it? Unless they can't, because
Unless
they're
they
not.
can't.
So
They
that was
need maybe they need some kind of, maybe that's why they have to go to the other galaxy. They need some kind of physical form to
mhm.
imbue themselves into.
That was my thoughts on this. I want to see
That's
more of this,
fascinating.
and
Because originally
also,
I just thought it's kind of like an elitist thing. Like, well, this
hey,
isn't what we do,
Spencer, no hawk in the Trek.
Look
We
at
don't
you.
hawk the
I'm
Trek in
telling,
this.
he's not allowed to say that anymore. Yes, I just looked at it as like Borg queens. Like, I don't have to
Yeah.
do anything. You all just go do it. But you're right. If they really had that much, physical power and manifestation in their dark magic, whatever,
Why do
if
they
they don't
need
call
her?
it the Force, whatever they, yeah, why don't they just wipe everybody out physically? Of course, that could just be Star Wars. We have to have the big battle, and we have to have the spaceship, and we have to have the thing, and so that's
Laser
just
swords.
sacrifice to the gods of um, ecumenical clarity. Well, it's just what they do. It's just what they do.
They're just kind of rolling with it. Yes,
Really
they
fascinating.
need a vessel to enact their will, John
Hmm.
says, and Jeff says zombie troopers. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Again, why do we need zombie troopers? These women are supposedly all powerful.
yeah, yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
If
I
they're
mean, I'm
just
hoping it
barely,
does in season.
maybe they're just barely clinging to life, like you said. Maybe they're kind of like those spirits that were left over on Dathomir,
Yeah.
where it was possession, and so I don't know. Maybe it was just some kind of projection. Like, I'm not actually here. I just look like I'm here.
Meat puppets.
That's what I said. I was gonna say meat puppets, but I didn't want to invoke the sequels. So yeah. So I guess interesting question. Do you feel like Morgan Elsbeth had a good death? What would be your definition of a
No.
good death for her? Was it a good one? No.
Honestly, I was like, she went through all that. She got them to Peridia
Mm-hmm.
and answered the call and saved Thrawn and was
Give
able
him a
to
ship. Give
got
him a
him
ship on a way home.
got him
Like,
away home and all this stuff and helped him understand hyperspace travel better, and it's like, okay, this is how I got here. This is how we can get back. All that stuff was made available to him because
mhm.
of her. And I'm like, I just felt like it was,
Yeah, she was a
I know
Thrawn
she's a
pawn.
bad guy.
Yep.
Total Thrawn pawn.
Thrawn pawn. Yep.
You need
There's a
that on
lot of
a
them.
shirt.
There's a lot of them. Yeah, yeah. With him like in the background going like this, and like this little scared little pawn going in the front. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's I'm sort of torn because it's kind of like Luthen. Like, I didn't want him to die, and I don't think it's necessarily fair that Morgan died, but she died in battle. And she's this incredible like warrior and martial artist, and she died against an amazing foe. Like, Ahsoka was literally reborn as Ahsoka the White and came back bigger and badder and tougher than the last time that they fought,
For
so
sure.
I guess I feel like it was a good warrior death, just
Yes.
like not then,
Agreed.
like it was an unfair timing and unfair situation, but the death itself, I think, really
I was like, yo, she just
fit the
leveled up.
character.
What the hell? Like, she just went through, like, she literally had her eyes burned out and given like all this crazy power, and she can wield the Blade of Talzin. She just leveled up to like full on Night Sister badass.
I'd like a refund, please. Excuse
Like,
me, this did not perform as expected and advertised. Hello.
yeah. Yeah.
I
It felt
agree.
like
I was like lousy upgrade. I feel like she got sold a lemon, you know? They were
yeah,
promising a Ferrari and it was a Chevy Citation or something instead, you know, just
which was my first car.
me too. Me too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Mine was a little brown. I named it Tweaky after
Mine was
the little robot.
SpongeBob.
Yeah. I
It was
named it Tweaky
yellow.
after the little robot on Buck Rogers. Beady beady beady. That was what I named him because he was just this horrible little beat up piece of junk.
Was yours a hatchback?
Yeet. God, I don't remember. Yes, it was. Yeah, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it had like the 2 doors and you had to like move the seat to get it had bench
Oh no,
seats
mine
and
was
everything.
4. I had a 4-door.
Yeah, I had a 2
It
door.
was really fancy. The whole back door was all beaten and battered and bruised. It had to be filled in with Bondo and spray painted, but it had 4 doors.
Diet Night Sister 1000, not Night Sister enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Beady beady.
Beady, beady, beady. Yep, I loved Tweaky. He
Yeah,
was
I
my
had
favorite.
like Hawaiian seat covers and SpongeBob steering wheel covers and SpongeBob air
Nice. I had
fresheners.
cigarette burns in the seats
Gary
of mine
pillow.
from its
My f-
previous owner.
a guy I knew in college used French fries to write my name on the hood of my car, and the French fries, McDonald's French fries, left grease, and I could not get it off because
Get
the
it
paint
off.
was so old and it, like the clear coat was gone, and
Charming.
I wanted to,
Charming.
I wanted to scream. Yeah.
And you never ate McDonald's fries again after it
Well,
ate the finish
I
off
can't
your
say
car.
that, but yeah. But it was my SpongeBob, and I loved that car. It got me through
Yeah,
college,
yeah.
community college.
That was Morgan's upgrade. It was the SpongeBob of upgrades. It did not work. It did not work.
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
tried.
gosh. Yeah.
Bruh, I
it
need
was
fries now. No, you don't, Spencer.
not
Jeez.
those fries. Go get some really good McCain's draft or crispy beer fries and put them in
Oh,
your air
yeah.
fryer. Those are fantastic. Highly recommend those.
It's worth that.
But yeah, so I was surprisingly sad. As much as I struggled
Yeah.
with the character itself, as much as I obviously am not a Sith Lord, unlike Mark.
Mark, we see you.
I was kind of sad.
Can confirm.
I think I think she would have been a really interesting foil going forward, especially
sure.
you know, like what if she'd gotten left behind? You know, I mean, we have Valen
I
Scroll
mean,
now
there's still a
and
chance.
Shin, you know, but
There was
yeah,
still
I
a
mean,
chance.
we don't know what it is that's reanimating all of those things.
Yeah.
Is there still some residual power left in the little weird? I'm assuming that's an underground crypt and a lot of coffins that they had down there.
And that weird, like the pillars with like the gold carvings on them, kind of, you know, like this. This is
Little
my
Mortisy. I mean, if
this
you've
is my
got
Mortis
the
hands.
original Mortis gods there, they could bring her back.
Do you feel like, okay,
be
with the Mortis God statues and everything that are there, do you feel like the Night Sisters are aware of the Mortis power and yet they were wielded, like they were just left powerless and stuck on this planet as a, okay, I'm trying to word this differently. Do you feel like they were aware of the Mortis powers and they were still powerless to use anything and stuck on this planet in order to protect the rest of the galaxy from them gaining any ability? That's why they needed Morgan.
I think that's a possibility, because I feel like they're, from what I've heard in the behind the scenes stuff on Ahsoka, that Peridia is in basically a dying galaxy. It's a dead galaxy, and that because it was witch wars everywhere. They were huge clans of wars waging against each other, and the Night Sisters were triumphant, but there was nothing left. And I think that this head of the sister being smashed off of the 3 statues is really interesting. So I kind of wonder if maybe they were trying to harness the power of the sister for themselves, or that it was somehow counteracting their ability and their darker energy usage and everything.
I agree with that.
And I think they tried to use Peridia and the Purgles as a jumping off point to go out into the universe. And for whatever reason, they were shut down. They were shut down, and that's why they went into storage and into stasis and everything else, because they couldn't get off as everybody. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really interested to see how, because it can't be coincidence that they're all on the same planet, right?
Yeah.
Like
and there's no way it can be that powerful enough to bring Shin and Balin there
from
for
all
purpose,
the way
especially
there.
Balin. there for that reason. And he's like,
Mhm.
I don't give a crap about light side, dark side. It's all the freaking
He didn't
same.
even give a crap about
This
his
is
own
not-
apprentice. He was like, "Yo, peace out."
He Luminara and Doolied her. He was just like, whatever, bye. I was just like, her and Varys have something in common now. Just saying.
Hey, but you know what? Luminara had a good point though. It was a good thing to do. You know, Shin didn't do nothing wrong. she didn't blow up any temples. I'm just saying. She did everything
I'm
he
just
asked her
saying,
to.
Luminara drove her to that. She was like, "What? My master don't give a shit about me? What the hell?" Blow it up.
Hmm.
I feel like there is enough power there for a reason, and there's no freaking way any of those Night Sisters, any of the Dathomirian dark forces, whatever that's on that
Wouldn't try
planet,
to access it.
wouldn't
Like,
try to access it in some way, but
yeah.
they physically can't. Why?
Something, and you kind of wonder if somebody stopped him. Like, was it a big like shoot down the Death Star kind of moment? Like, we have to stop them right here, right now, and maybe a few got away and got to Dathomir in the main universe, in the main galaxy, but maybe it was a big battle, and that's why there's hardly anything left on the planet. I don't know. It's very fascinating.
I
But
just
and I just have
honestly-
thought, what if Morgan comes back as a Talzin ghosty thingy, like.
I
Little-
want her to, or like some kind of. I was like, come on, it can't be over. She's too damn.
I mean, if Anakin's Force Ghost can be on that planet, so can Morgan's. This is what I'm saying, folks. It's there. It's canonically possible. We can do this.
She's such a good baddie, and I loved watching the behind the scenes with her training with Rosario
Yeah,
and training
yeah.
with Natasha and training with to some small way Amon, and just kind of
Mhm.
like showing them like how to, okay, well, you'd fight this way. If I'm coming at you with this, you would block me. And it's just so cool to see her
Yeah.
using her formidable martial arts training to train other
Yeah.
people. So it's
I was seeing
believable.
trained with Diana Lee and Sons.
I love it.
She helped me pull that move off. Yeah. I mean,
I
can
was
you imagine?
so damn
Put that on
cool.
your resume. I love it.
And I love that she's kind of taking the opportunity to be like, okay, I can not only be this character for my acting ability, but I can teach the other people to fight against me and
The
with me
physicality. Yeah.
and be physical. And like, it can't be over for her. Like,
I'm not ready. And I don't say that very often. Most of the time I'm like, yeah,
I'm
goodbye.
all like good about vanquishing the bad guys, like totally fine with bad guys being vanquished all day long. Her, however, I feel like she's not quite there yet.
I'm not ready to give up on the
It's not
redemption.
fair. No. I'm
She
holding
may
out
be
hope.
dead. It's the bad guys that always get to come back from the dead, right? It's
It's
never the
because
good
I
guys.
love
So-
Diana so much as a person, and I'm just like, no,
Yeah,
let her play in
yeah.
the sandbox some more.
We
Come
want
on.
another Star Wars. Another Star Wars. Yeah. No,
And
absolutely. I
she's
kind of
such
agree
a
with that.
huge fan of the series, and of
Yeah.
They've done some amazing stunt training, even in animation, live action,
Mhm.
between like Ewan and Hayden and everything like that, and Rosario and Brendan. Poor Brendan in his cape. But to like have all that go on, and it's like, you're not a part of it. Come on, it's a waste to me. So bring her back. That's what I said.
Yeah. Maybe we can get her to give us like some eyebrow signals. She can't say anything, obviously, because of NDAs, but maybe she could be like, when we do our interview, maybe she'd be like,
Wink
I can't say anything.
twice.
Wink, wink.
Just say. But yeah, that's my thoughts on her, and I
think we're kind of on the same page there. We will say that,
or
And-
she could be like the next conduit to like lure someone else to Peridia.
Or some way help them get off. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tag along like a little trailing Force ghost on their ship when they finally make it back. I don't know. It could be really interesting and exciting. I just hope that there's sadly, this is not the first time, but one of the few times when I actually want to see more of a villain. I would love to see Morgan Elsbeth come back in some other way.
Like her and Thrawn are like the dynamic duo. Like I just learning about her in the meantime, and just getting to see her in Tales of the Empire, and learning about her connection to Thrawn, and how Thrawn kind of used her twice now. Twice for the TIE Defender, and to get him off of Peridia and back into the galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
Not far, far, far away, as Dave would say. But I just...
They're the duo I never knew I needed. right? Like
Exactly.
the two of them together, I
Or at
was
least
like,
if she has to get vengeance on somebody, get vengeance on Thrawn. Like, he roped you into this banana
like, don't
craziness.
let him get away with it. Like, if you're going to be bad, you need to come back as an evil, green, glowing spirit and follow him all the way back and make sure he does what he said he was going to
Yeah.
do.
Oh, you betcha, Dave. Jeff, we're
Yes,
definitely doing that
please. Yes, please.
all day long.
Be great.
I gotta make the list up
Mm.
right after this show.
Yay.
Spencer says the ghost of Morgan is like a siren luring people to their death.
Ooh.
I mean, they kind of have to ride in the belly of some space whales to get there, so I can kind
I
of
was
see
going to
that.
say, I don't think there's anybody left on Peridia right now other than the little, the little shell people from Star Wars, or Star Wars, from Super Mario Sunshine. Their names are almost even similar. I'm not going
Oh
to say
my
it because I don't want to
god.
invoke copyright law, but yeah, they're actually very similar.
Oh my god. It can't be unseen now. I really
Yep.
can't.
Yep. The little crab people, they're in the waterfalls and they
Ding,
keep
ding,
popping
ding.
out of their little shells. Yep.
Just like the video games. That's all there is to
Yep.
it.
Always.
So yeah, make sure space whales. I speak space whales. Woo.
I can do it. No problem. They give me rides all the time.
That'd be so cool. She's gonna possess a Purgle to travel back to Dathomir. Ooh, okay.
I'm all right with that.
Like, can you imagine being that powerful that you can get like a hyperspace traveling creature
Mm.
to just get you off the planet?
Yeah, she might be able to pull it off. I was just thinking that, a creature that's powerful enough to be able to do that and really old, or maybe, and really intelligent in its own way, they're probably not going to let an evil spirit hang around very much, Doesn't sound like it would just kind of slide right off them, They're like, no, not
Get
happening.
out.
Nope.
Get out. Leave.
Invoke my whale power. I'm fine.
Well, I guess we will have to ask Diana some of these questions, and
Absolutely.
oh, I'm so excited for this interview. I'm
Me
excited. I'm
too.
nervous,
I'm gonna
but
try not to be a babbling fangirl idiot. I'm gonna try really hard. So
nah, you'll be fine.
y'all positive manifestations over here. We keep it together.
Yeah, we got this. We got this. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions whatsoever for Diana, please submit them to us at the forum link below or scan the QR code there. Um, we want to ask them for you. We want this to be as interactive as possible. We'll be talking to
Yes.
her this Sunday, and then it'll be broadcast on our show in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And she's our first guest on Daughters of the Galaxy. So I am hella excited
Super
about
excited. Yes.
this. Ask so many questions.
And we have to pause and let her answer. We can't just be like, and one more question. Yeah, we have to give her time to
Oh
respond.
no, it will be organic. We're pretty good with that. You saw us on Anna.
Yeah, you guys were good. You were
Yeah.
very good.
We got you.
Yep.
So yeah, that's all we got for this week. But yeah, remember we have Bones of Eve coming up in August 8th through 10th in
At
Frisco,
Rebel
Texas,
ScumCon.
at Rebel Scum Con, brought to you by VIP. And you guys, the FOMO is real. There's so many good people going to this. But it's okay. I'll be in Boston with the other Star Wars people,
You'll
John
be working
Boyega,
hard.
Manny Jacinto, Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor. I'll just be hanging out with all of them. It's fine. um, so yeah, brought to you again by VIP Home Theaters. Engage your senses. They are our premier sponsor for Boonta Eve, and it's going to be so exciting, you guys. So please look into that. Also, we are going to have a giveaway if once we hit 99,000 members, a signed Hayden Christensen photo.
Yes.
So cool.
Very nice.
So we'll be giving that away as soon as we hit 99,000 members. So please tell your friends.
Spread the
road
word.
to 100,000 members. Doing a little giveaway every time we get another 1,000. So just join up soon. We're halfway there, you guys. We're almost to 99,000.
If you've
Tell your
ever
friends,
wanted to go
get
to a
that
Star Wars
Hayden.
celebration, if you're thinking about going to Los Angeles in 2027, or if you just want to hang out and chat with fellow Star Wars nerds, you too can get references like this all day long.
Yeah. Oh, God. Totally. I'm not. You would be proud. I didn't do that at C2E2. I was very succinct and very. Yeah. She's done so much cool stuff since then. I just. Sensor says that Ashley will be like Chris Farley. Remember when you died on Paradia? That was
That was
awesome.
cool. That was awesome. Yeah. You remember? You remember? Yeah, that
Yeah,
was cool.
open to all, including hosts. Okay, guess I shouldn't have told anybody, so I can
Right?
open it. It's
I
totally
don't have
fine.
5,000 friends though. I don't have 5,000 friends to join the group, so we need help.
Yeah, so make sure you sign everybody up. Where's Skip? Skip, sign some people up. You're good at that. Just
Drop
bring your
cards
phone.
at your job site. Just
Yeah,
have people,
bring
sign
your
up with
phone
the
to the
QR code.
supermarket. Get people in line.
There you go.
He's so good at that. All right, you guys. Well, that's all
right.
for this week.
Yes.
When we see you in 2 weeks, it will be exciting. But
It'll be wonderful. Yeah. Thanks for joining, and send us your questions, and we look forward to the result.
yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks. May the
Good
force be
night.
with you.
May the force be with you.